mighty Pharaoh, beloved of Ra, how fortunate you must feel. Your unprecedented rise to the throne of Egypt is the stuff of dreams. A richer reward could not be fashioned by gods or people. With your family's ascension, Egypt can make a new start, and perhaps we can all forget the horrors of the Civil War. To mark this new beginning, you should build a fine new capital. Itjtawy, with its abundant natural resources, is a perfect location. Using what the land has to offer, you can build a splendid city worthy of your dynasty's valor and dedication. To ensure the feats of your great dynasty are always remembered, you should build 2 majestic brick pyramids for yourself and your family, and a frightening sphinx to guard your tomb. A family with your achievements deserves no less. Keep in mind, though, that some in the country question the legitimacy of your rule. Many are still suffering the effects of the famine and grumble that you usurped the throne. If you relieve these people's misery and help them build their homes, you will certainly win their undying loyalty. You should try to provide for your new subjects as well as you can to prevent these unfortunate people from taking up arms against you.
Hey guys, welcome back to the land of the Pharaohs. I'm Sajuuk, and it looks as if we've become Pharaoh here. So we're now the ruler of the land, and we now have to build a new capital at Itjtawy. A new capital is founded. Some high goals, we'll go to them in a minute. So it looks as if we don't fulfill requests, we may be attacked. But if we fulfill requests, then people will be fine with us and we'll have no invasions to worry about. 7,500 people, culture 60, monument 33, the monuments seem fairly basic. Prosperity 60 is quite high, kingdom rating of 85, and we also require stately manners. So we built stately manners in Kebet and Wast in the previous couple of missions. They weren't required, of course, but here we do need to build some stately manners, so we're going to have a noble block somewhere in our city. Continuing on hard mode, let's head to the city. And pause and have a look around. And this is a nice lush area. There's hardly any desert area. I'm not going to be building a housing block there. A very big map with a lot of floodplain. We'll have a look at that in a minute. Looks as if there's some reeds over here. We could make use of them for papyrus. So we've got quite a number of raw resources available to us here. I think we've got lots of rock. And let's have a look at raw resources. So we've got clay pits, so we can make our own pottery. That's good. We can quarry our own limestone for the monuments. We can also make our own reeds. The only thing we can't seem to do is actually no, we've got clay pits. We don't have let's look at farms. Grain, lettuce, pomegranates and flax. So we cannot make barley on this map. We have to import that, I think, from a trade part. We'll have a look at that in a minute. I'm probably going to feed the majority of people on grain and pomegranates. Lettuce doesn't really produce well, in my opinion. In terms of production value, grain and pomegranates produces far more than lettuce. Lettuce is not very useful. Flax, that means we can make linen. And I think that's going to have to be our main export, because I don't think anyone else buys clay or papyrus. Let's have a look at gods. Osiris, Ptah, Seth, Bas. We've got 4 gods. And of course, we'll have to put down temples to Seth anyway. But I'm going to try and avoid any kind of military action on this. Apart from a few invasions, there's actually no military on this map. And the invasions only happen if you ignore requests, effectively. So we're here at Itjtawy, we're now the Pharaoh, so we don't have to pay tribute. There's no tribute, anything like that. So we don't have to worry about debt. Boohen down here sells us 4,000 barley. That is, I believe, the only source of barley on this map by things we can't produce. So, apart from barley, that's the only reason to open that trade route. Daklo Oasis buys 4,000 linen. That's quite a nice amount. We're going to have to import wood from there as well. They also buy papyrus. So they've got 2 things that we can buy, but that's very expensive. 1,250. Menakufu buys bricks. That's the only thing we can really sell to because limestone is not worth it. Mennefer buys nothing that we can produce apart from bricks, which we could sell. Byblos up here sells us a lot of luxury goods and buys nothing else. We do need Byblos because they're the only source of luxury goods on this map. We can't import gems. So we've got Boohen and Byblos as required trade partners, plus the others that we'll have to open up as well. So, I think we'll be doing okay. Apart from barley, we can grow all the other resources. What's our monuments like? Small and medium mud brick. So at this point in the game, pyramids that tend to be built are mud brick pyramids, so there'll always be bricks in some form or another that you have to build. The Sphinx I think this is the last time we build the Sphinx anyway. So it's not a very big one. You've seen it before in Rostra, but not really too much of a concern. Got a nice amount of floodplain here. What I'm probably going to do is I'm going to have 3 common blocks this area here, and an elite block in this space over here, and probably just put the monuments in the corner or something, and I'll have this bit of floodplain to supplement. Maybe even crossing out to this little bit over here to get even more food. And then what I'll have is I'll have a little bit of a reed gathering papyrus thing just here, and I can just make reeds, and we'll just have getting yards and all that. So yeah, I'm just going to go and set up a housing block. I think I can have all of my industry down this site sort of bit here within all the spaces available to me. So yeah, I'll just go and set up a housing block right here, and we'll get started on. I think our main export will have to be linen, because I think it's also requested as well. So, and I think meat as well. I think we'll have to get some meat going early as well, so I will set that up. So yeah, I'll come back in later once I have set up my first housing block, because that's the first priority of the mission. Okay, so this is our initial housing block right here. I'm going to go for 3 of these big blocks. Unfortunately, they're only going to have 1 firehouse on it, so they might start burning down later. I'll have to think about it later. But we're going to have 1 here, and then another one over here. Up here, I'll probably have a bit of an industry for bricks, beer, and all that kind of stuff, alongside feeder housing to support this floodplain later. But I've got all my farms set up. We're going to have, what's this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 grain farms and 5 flax farms. We're not going to staff these grain farms just yet. We want to get the flax running. I know that the requests start off early-ish, but we can just work on our exports for now. An export is going to be basically linen, and because of these high trade quotas, it means that Dark Oasis will send free trade caravans, which means that we want to really sell out 2,400 linen in one go, basically. Meat isn't worth it, even though there's a lot of export there. It's only 35. I mean, I suppose we could, because I'm not going to feed anyone off of it, and it's only really going to stockpile in a yard for requests. Which reminds me, I will have to put down some cattle ranches somewhere. I might just put them down here or something. I'm thinking of having a loop, and there, but like that. I could have a loop like this, and it might work. We will actually just put I'll put that like this. And this little bit of housing will just help if some of them are not getting past this little line here. But we shall see. I put down a temple to Bast, rather, because she is the patron. I will put down shrines to the other gods when I get money, because right now it's not going to be totally possible. So yeah, I'm just going to keep on going. And what I'll do is I'll just come back in once we started to produce some flax, because we're going to need to set up that industry fairly early on. And then once the harvest is passed, which is in early September, I'll turn on all of the grain farms, and then we'll start to make straw. Okay, so we've got our flax getting produced here. The harvest is about to come in. We're going to have quite a bit of flax here, which is going to be good. We actually have some high levels of unemployment. So let's just put down a few weavers. 1, 2, 3, 4. And all of this flax should be able to fulfill all of this. We have a yard here that is going to accept flax and linen, and then it'll eventually, once the next flood comes through, we will not accept flax here anymore, because there's no reason to do that. We will turn on these grain farms once this harvests, because then we can start producing some straw. Now, in terms of walker distance, I will have a couple of work camps over here as well, just as we start to extend up this little bit here, because it's not going to be easy for these guys to get all the way over here in any reasonable time. So let's just see. We'll produce quite a bit of flax, I think. So yeah, they harvest in August. 336. Yeah, it's about 300 each, so that's not too bad. That's about 1,500 flax out of all that. That's not going to be too bad. Let's just turn on grain, because that'll be the next thing that we start working on. It's going to be a good flood. That's going to be perfect. Let's see. I can get 2 cattle ranches in there, which is what we're going to do. And then we're going to have, in terms of granaries, I will probably put them in the centre bit. So let's just see. These produce really slowly anyway, so I can just put this far away. We'll just put that here to accept meat. How much we got stockpile? 592. So that's 800 linen that's going to be produced with how much left over? 800. So about 1600 linen we will make this year once the things start working, obviously. I've got our things down, everything's doing quite well. So now at this point I just need to start waiting. I need to build up the linen and then open up the trade route to Dakla. I do have just about 2,000 in savings. I may just give that to the city if I need to, because I will be able to stockpile that very easily near the edge when I put down the dynasty mansion anyway. But I might want to just give that money to the city if I just want to make sure I don't run into debt. And if I do that, I will let you know if I've done it. Normally I haven't done it. I'll actually point out now, at no point in this Let's Play have I actually used personal savings. So, apart from sending gifts, which I don't count as personal savings. But in terms of giving money to the city, I've never done that. I don't do that because I don't see the point in that. But I think in this mission, as we start to progress into later missions, I may start to give myself the savings that I've accumulated. Not so much when I start the new kingdom because that'll be reset anyway. But in current missions in the middle kingdom, I may give myself the savings that I accumulate in the next mission if I need them. So yeah, I'm just going to keep on going, and I'll come back in once we started to make enough linen to start opening up the trade route to Dakla Oasis, which is going to be our saviour for this mission. Okay, so it's the turn of the new year, but in the second game year, and I just wanted to come to this treasury screen just to confirm something for you guys. Because we are now at the level of Pharaoh, we no longer pay tribute. So there's no longer going to be that silly thing for our previous missions where you have probably seen that if I went into the next year in debt and didn't pay tribute, it would say here, kingdom rating, your kingdom rating is dropped because you could not pay your tribute. Now because you are Pharaoh, you can't pay tribute. So we're not going to have that problem. Kingdom rating is now only going to go down by failing to fulfill requests, basically. That's the only reason it's going to go down. And because I am here, I'm just going to actually just tell you right now, I'm going to give all of the 1800 savings that I have because I have no use for them. And really, there's no point stockpiling them. It just gives us some money to play with because I don't want to go into take rescue funds. I've set up a little bit of a clay industry. I do know that there's a rather early request to WAST for pottery, and I do want to make sure I have some in stockpile. So this should be able to produce 800 pottery whenever these things start working. So we've got a bit being made, which is going to be good. What's our unemployment like, actually? 33 missing workers. I have turned on grain, which is going to give us some food, and also some straw, which will staff these cattle ranches. I'm not going to feed people on meat. Generally what I find, as you have probably noticed in previous missions, like Eonet, for example, if you want to go way back then, cattle ranches do not produce enough meat to support any level of city, so there is absolutely no point in trying to subsist the city on meat. It's not going to happen. It's sort of like fish and hunting. They'll do for like a small area, but not city-wide. And we've got linen being made. That's going to be very useful. And we'll actually open up the trade route once the remainder of this has been produced. Hopefully this will make another bit as well, and that'll help. So we've got enough of these to support all of these farms. I might actually put down one more flax farm like so. We don't need you accepting flax, which we've done. That's going to be fine. And yeah, so now I'm just going to evolve this housing block. And yeah, delete. There was a cattle ranch that I put here, which I've replaced with a yard accepting grain, so they can just be closer to this granary. Everyone will be fed grain, and the majority will be fed on pomegranates. There is meadowland farming here, but I'm not going to bother. We can get more than enough floodplain space. We can cross here, put a bunch of farms here, bunch of farms up here. There's more than enough space to support the city, and we do have Bast's temple complex, and its presence does allow food quantities to be reduced a bit, so we might put that down at some point. But yeah, we're just going to keep on going, and I'll come back in once we start to sell the linen to Dakla Oasis. Okay, so we're going to buy up our linen. We've got 3 traders coming through, but we're only going to be able to sell to the first 2 because, well, we just didn't manage to produce enough linen, but we are going to get the next harvested anyway, which is going to produce all the linen for the next sales, which is going to be great. There we go, plenty of cash. I love it. All that cash for us. So that linen export is going to pretty much keep us afloat for the entire game, really. That's going to be a really good export. Maybe be able to start exporting papyrus later if we can, as well as bricks and things like that. Which reminds me, I may have to set up other things as well, but I'll come to them when I need to. But we've got plenty of money. That linen export is going to tide us over for a little while. Here comes the next bit of flax. It's going to staff all of this. If we have a surplus, I'll put down a couple more weavers in places. We've got straw, which is going to stockpile for now because I have no use for it in the city. Because we don't have the workers just now. But we are going to put down this granary, which is going to get grain. And we will start to feed the people because we are short of workers, so we might as well put it to use for staffing people. So stockpile the straw. I've also put down another clay pit just to make sure that these are always kept working and not idle, because if they're idle they're not really doing anything for us. But this is a lot of flax we've got in here. We might actually be able to support even more weavers. Yeah, we're going to have way too much flax, so let's just put down 1, 2, 3. Let's just do 3 more. So yeah, we've got all of our stuff set up, we've got plenty of money. So yeah, I'm just going to keep on going, and I'll come back in once we hit the first requests. Okay, so we're starting to feed the people here. We're getting some rough cottages nicely developing. I'm not going to bother putting down shrine walls or statues to evolve that. I just wanted to evolve some sort of way. This set of flax farms, 6, produces literally infinite amounts of flax. So we've still got like 300 still sitting around. We haven't used it all up yet, and that's the flood just receded. So we're not doing too badly. We've got a nice bit of pottery down here just in case someone asks for it. I know that there are some requests for it early on, which will catch you out if you don't expect it, as well as meat. There's quite a number of out of the blue requests. So you want to produce a few bits of every resource you can, just in case someone asks for it. We have enough straw, and once all the meat is made, we will just stop using it in the city because we'll not have any further use for it. In fact, this farm here is going to be replaced by a grain farm. I'd rather have more grain farms at this point than anything else. We are producing enough linen here. That's 2, 4, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 700 linen every so often. That's 1400 linen we can produce from that. We're not exporting it. I'm just letting it stockpile. So they're just going to walk right through the city, which is fine. There we go. So first request to satisfy citizens' needs. Wast wants 700 pottery. We've got that. We'll just send that off. If we got any pottery being made, that'll stockpile as well. So we're going to have plenty of grain being made, and that will keep everyone nice and happy, I think. I may want to expand onto some of this land as well, maybe get as many farms in as I can over here. But we'll see, we've got more than enough linen. In fact, we can just set this to export again, since we are about to run out of cash. So we've got some meat being made, and the next harvest we'll be able to complete off the meat related stuff as well. Stockpiling it because we don't have any use for it. All that grain actually completely evaporated into our housing, but we've got enough grain. It's going to keep it going for quite a while. We've got 265, 242. There's more than enough food in here. In fact, this bazaar is empty of food, but we're going to have enough grain being made. We've got more than enough flax, that's why I've bumped off one of those. Over here will probably be just food. We will have a bit more flax because we are going to need a lot of flax production to support 60 culture, which is going to require everyone accessing mortuaries. And, we've got some unemployment, that's actually quite nice. We may actually just set up brickworks, I'm not too sure. I'll turn on the clay industry and I'll turn off pottery because we don't need pottery right now. And yeah, we've got linen being made. There's going to be yeah, we're going to have enough to sell out to free trade caravans, which is actually going to be quite nice. We've got quite a bit left. There's some odd number of units just because that's the way flax is produced, really. But yeah, we're going to have plenty of linen to sell to the next trade caravans at Darkla. And we might actually start working on brick production once I've got through the meat stuff, because I know that that's requested too. Here comes Darkla to buy up linen. So yeah, I'm just going to keep on going, and I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. We're just sitting around waiting, really. There's 1,000 people in the city. Well, here's the first request. Cargo Oasis is asking for 900 slabs of meat in 8 months. Luckily, we do have 700 in stockpile, but I've got enough being made from 2 cattle ranches where it shouldn't be a problem. You can see here I've also put down a bunch more farms for eventual just continual production of straw, really. We're going to need a lot of grain production on this one, so I may actually have grain production up here, but I might also have it over here. I may also just set up a bunch of low quality straw farms, basically, on these meadowlands, because the reason I say straw farms is you don't actually build straw farms to come from grain, but if you don't irrigate on here and you just put these down to like 2%, then it's like, they're just basically straw farms. Anyway, the 700 pieces of pottery to Wast has opened up a trade route there. They sell nothing that we really need. We need 1,000 grain. We actually need quite a bit of raw materials here, but we can produce our own pottery. We can import barley to make beer, that's not a problem. We had to import luxury goods anyway, so it's not a good sound. Same with papyrus. We have to make all these components anyway to get to the required housing level. But nothing that we need from Wast. So it's going to be probably one of those cities that if you open, fine, and if you don't, it's fine as well. It doesn't affect anything. So yeah, we'll get 200 meat out of these remaining cattle ranches, and that will fulfill that request to Cargo Oasis. And I'll just set it off camera. So yeah, we're just going to keep on going, and I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. Oh, gods are getting a bit upset. We might have to put in a couple of temples just to placate them a bit. Well, the meat requests are just piling on up here. We've been just told that we have enough meat to support the Cargo Oasis famine, which I'm going to do. But Dark Oasis is now in need of 200 slabs of meat. Now, we can produce that fairly easily within 9 months. So we are going to send off the 900 meat to Cargo Oasis. And then we'll just wait a couple of months and we will get the next 200 slabs of meat out of these two. Because I need trade route to us to become available, fine. I'm just sort of wasting money now beautifying this location because we just need to sort of get everyone nicely evolving here. Along here will be a shrine wall, which will be fine. You can see here I've also put down a temple each to the remaining gods we didn't have a temple to, which is getting them under control. Producing more than enough linen at this rate. We don't really need too much more linen production, but we might expand it anyway. So we've got 84%, 93%. So these two will complete very shortly, and then we will not need to worry too much about meat. I will stockpile it just in case someone asks for it, because no doubt someone's going to ask for it. Surely with meat being a food type here, that someone's going to ask for it over and over again. In terms of clay, what I'm going to do is this little landmass down here, which blocks in this little inlet here. This little bit here will be just a bit of a clay dump, basically. I'll just have a ton of clay pits supporting everything that we need. We'll have a bridge there, and all brick and clay production all down here, because this is so close to the water that we can pretty much have a continual line of clay pits all the way along here in just a straight line, which will keep everyone happy, I think. Let's just actually put down the roads for that now, like so. And where do the clay pits stop at? There. So that'll be a house right there. We'll just have a roadblock right there. And we'll just have pretty much brick production and all that along this bit. I'm not too sure where I'm going to put the housing block, because I'm going to have to plan that out there as well, and make sure I'm not blocking anything in for that. There's the 200 meat, so let's just send that off right now. There you go. And we're going to have more than enough grain production now. In fact, we can actually just bump that one off and replace it with flax again. There. And if I want to get into this little bit of farmland, I will have to put down a road around the back there. In fact, let's just plan. I would only get 2 farms in. Not too bad, but not great either. I could just delete some of the irrigation, and that would probably, yeah, that would allow for free. So let's just delete some of this irrigation and just do that, and then I can have 1, 2, 3 like so. So that's pretty much all the grain production we're ever going to need, probably for now, until I expand on here. Then we'll have more grain production here, and probably up here will just be a bunch of flax and pomegranates, really. The slabs of meat helped Cargo, which is good. Glad we're helping you there. So yeah, we're just now going to transition into a little bit. We'll have one more cattle ranch just to stockpile meat, and then we'll start making bricks, because that's what we're going to need to do as well. So I'll come back in if anything of interest happens, really. Okay, so now Wast is starting to ask for meat. Your reputation in the kingdom has improved, and now the city of Wast requests that I send 600 slabs of meat, which you can see right there we have. Perfect, isn't it? We're just meeting these requests as soon as they come through. I have set up a bit of a limestone area just over here, just in case someone asks for that, because I'm pretty sure someone's going to ask for nearly any raw resource that we have. We're making bricks, got a nice little area down here to make as much clay as we can. And I have worked out that if I put a housing block here, this is going to get in the way. So these brickworks will be moved down this line here, just out of the way, so I can put down a housing block, or maybe just put down this side or something. I'm not too sure about the placement. We've got 900 bricks, just in case, you know, again, someone asks for it. The bricks produce very easily and effectively, because they only take 2500 straw if you've forgotten that aspect. I might have mentioned it in last or something, but they only take 25 straw to every 100 clay to make one brick. So we can get through the straw quite easily. We had a bit of a shite flood last year, but it's going to be a bit of a mediocre one this year, so I might want to try and get on Osiris's good side. In fact, once we get more employees, which we're going to do right now by putting down this pavilion. It's not going to give us a bunch, but we will see. Let's put down... where to put these buildings? I sort of get a bit cramped down here. I might start putting them in all sorts of places. What I'm thinking of, though, is that instead of having two blocks facing this way, the way that this one is, left to right, well, whatever number block it is, the one that goes over here will go that way, so down to top to bottom rather than left to right, and then in this space here I can just put down things like these to help with that. So we're producing linen. It's just keeping us afloat at this point. Even if we don't sell a ton, we're still selling enough to just keep us in the black. We're making about 700 linen every so often, so that's keeping us in the black, which is all we want to see at this point. So yeah, I'm just going to keep on going, and I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. We're just going to start evolving these into things. What's this? It's collapsed. Why did they all collapse? I didn't have that there apparently, so we just lost a bunch of clay pits that we didn't really need, so never mind. I was always going to forget something, wasn't I? I was always going to forget one. But hey, that's a let's play for you. Okay, so we've got our second housing block all planned out here. And planning it out here has allowed me to set up this bit for a loop, which is going to be where we're going to put things like more weavers and some work camps, just to make sure that we can get people close enough to this area. Don't seem to have enough linen and, well, flax and stockpile. We do have a little bit, but not a ton. We do have a full yard of bricks, which I may just start exporting to Menak Khufu here, because we can make some profit off of that. I'm not too sure which trader it'll go with, because we can sell bricks to 2 trade partners. I mean, the only reason to open up Men Affairs is if I need to import a little bit more papyrus if we can't get enough. Nah, we'll just go with Menak Khufu. We'll just export to there. So let's export all these bricks. That is a lot of bricks, because, as you know, the game sets the required thingy to whatever it thinks, which is, because there's monuments that involve bricks, they do need to be there. Now, in terms of those monuments, I mean, it would have been nice if I put a small pyramid there, but I can't fit it in because of this. But anyway, we're going to start selling bricks and linen, which is going to give us some money. There's only a little bit of linen there, which is unfortunate, because all of these are not really fully staffed at this point. I can, however, just put down all this housing here. Just do that, and then we'll put down all the associated buildings. And to make sure everything's nice and tidy, I will move these 2 temples there. Delete that and that. It does mean that this is a 5 wide gap, but that's fine. Let's just do that and put down all the various buildings like so. And the apothecary right there. So we've got all that set up, basically. We're not going to evolve it yet, unless I have a reason to just spam out buildings, but for now we can just do a couple of work camps there, just to try and get the work camps into this line here so they're a bit further away. I also moved this road, this originally connected like that. I have moved it over here so there's now a proper loop right around the block. And also putting this down means I can have a shrine wall along this bit too. Last flood was not very good either. The next one's also going to be the same level, so some of these farms, like this one here and this one, won't really get very well fertilised, which is unfortunate. Meanwhile, we are stockpiling on limestone. Have you bought 800 bricks? You have. How many have you bought so far? 800. You're going to buy another 800, which is going to be good. We could evolve this block with pottery, but I'm not going to do that right now. I don't think there's not much reason to do it. There we go, buying up bricks. It's going to compensate for the limited amount of linen that we have in stockpile, but that's okay. In fact, what I can do, I'm going to have a yard here which is going to accept pomegranates, because we will need to farm for those up there, but we're going to do that right now. I do need to cross the Nile anyway. We could set that up. So let's just put this here and here. And then we'll have this area set up for a bit of grain farming, probably a bunch of pomegranates, or maybe some just more grain and straw farms. And we'll have reeds over here as well. I mean, I can't import papyrus, but I don't want to do that when we've got literally reeds here, so it's not a big problem. So yeah, we're just going to keep on going, and I'm going to come back in if anything of interest happens. We have had a couple of events, which was price of meat going up because I sent the meat off to Wast, and a bit of contaminated water. This happens every so often, it's not too good, but we can get through it. So yeah, I'm going to come back in later if anything of interest happens. Oh, would you look at this? We need to sell some bricks to men at Kufa. The people were actually selling bricks to 1300 bricks, 10 months to comply. Let's just stop exporting them so we can fulfill that request. That is going to take away that as a profit until we can stockpile some more bricks. So unfortunately we haven't been able to sell any more bricks, but we did sell it near enough to quota anyway, so that's okay. We have plenty of flax fields, but unfortunately we just don't seem to get good floods at the moment, which is unfortunate. I will have to set up an area for the festival square, I think. Can I, let me just check something here. Let me just roadblock that there. Let's see, can I fit the festival square in there? I don't think I can because it's too big. Yeah, there's just a couple of tiles of rock getting in the way there, so I can't set it up there. But this road will be for where I put down all the stuff to connect up to this for the elite block in there. Where else can I put a festival square then? I mean, I don't want to put it out here because that's just away from the city. That's not really very useful. I could put it up here because this is where I'm going to have a little connecting point between the coastline here to support my brewery industry and other things as well. We only need one dock because the only water trade route is Buhen. So I don't need two docks, I just need the one. I'm not going to cross the Nile from this side to get to the reeds. I will connect from this bottom bit because I'm going to need to use that floodplain anyway. We're going to have quite a bit of a grain harvest. I could connect up these farms here, but I don't want to do that right now. I mean, I suppose we could. I suppose there we go. I mean, I might just zigzag it in a little bit, but we'll see. We've got bricks stockpiling. We can set that up as an export later. We've also got pottery to sell. Does anyone buy it? No, not yet anyway. So we're not going to get much grain out of some of these files because the fertility is dropping. I'm going to try and get on the science's good side. I also put down a bit of a shrine wall here just because the gods were getting a little displeased. What's the unemployment like? It's fine. So yeah, I'm just going to keep on going. I'm not going to come back in if anything of interest happens. This is a bit out of the blue. Dark Oasis now wishes to trade more slabs of meat, but they were already trading the 4,000 maximum, so I never saw that event, but apparently it happened. Once more, Wast wants 1,000 bags of clay in 8 months. Now we do have the ability to do that, because we do have enough clay pits, so let's just put clay here and stockpile it in a yard, because that will build up very easily. I'm also planning out the third common block, and I can see where I can put it. I can put it here, and that means I can have all my industry. Excuse me. We can all have our industry down this side here without going anywhere near the housing. We're low on cash for a little bit there, so I have set up my exports again. We're exporting bricks and linen, which is going to be fine. We just need to stockpile clay in this yard once we get workers, which we are getting, which is going to be good. I'm going to need more straw though, and Menifera wants 6 blocks of limestone in 10 months, so let's just send that off. We've got like 2 full yards of it over here. You can see him just sort of stockpiling it with a couple of these. Plenty of pottery. I am going to have this one up here. Well, it's going to accept pomegranates. It's also going to get a little bit of pottery just because the bazaar up here will never reach down here, so that's why. 200 clay is stockpiling quite nicely, so that'll be fulfilled. I could set up this a little bit over here actually. Let's just put down grain, and then grain farms. It's not going to be very well done though, that's the only problem. So I'll sort that out later because it's going to... I want to make sure I use up all the space and not leave empty spaces because it's going to look like shit, to be honest. I could actually do... I was thinking of doing my beer brewing up here. You need 1,000 bags of clay, you're going to get it. I could actually just do it down here, just make this an industrial little dump for beer, because it's going to be closer to all the things anyway. So we've got 900 clay, we're going to have 1,000 clay, very easy for you, Wast. There you go. You don't need to stockpile that anymore. We can also set up more clay pits just down here as needed. In fact, we'll just delete that yard because it's just sort of useless now. So yeah, we're getting the things through, we're getting everywhere up, and we're getting some unemployment, which is good. That means I can start working on other things. In fact, once the flood comes through, which is going to be a good flood, some of these grain farms I will knock out and replace with flax farms and start moving some grain production here. So I'll go and do that, and I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. Well, this is quite nice because I got an increase in my reputation for sending off the stuff to Mennefer. I've got 1,500 free money, that's pretty nice. You can see here I'm setting up this little area here. It is a bit problematic because of where everything is placed. This is very creative, I can tell you. This is a very creative way of trying to irrigate this farm. I mean, it's only 42% fertile, but hey, it's something. I mean, it works. It's also keeping this under control as well. I'll have a couple of work camps over here. I know that none of this needs axe. It doesn't need to worry about burning down or anything because it doesn't, so that's okay. They can just sort of wander and randomly get past this house. Let's just put down 2 more work camps. This is a very creative way of trying to make sure that all of the farm space is made. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 farms in there, which is actually a lot. And it means I can cut back on some of these. And I also sell some stuff to men at Khufu because they asked for some limestone. There's some more free money. We'll just cut off these 2 farms and replace them with flax farms and start producing more flax to help with our linen exports. So the city's progressing well. All the gods are nice and happy. And this area here will be used for beer brewing and various other things as well. I don't think apothecaries burn. Do they? They might, so let's just put a road around the back. If that touches the back, fine, I don't care. Because what I can do is delete that and have a firehouse and architects post here. Employees needed, that's fine. We can just evolve housing to do that. So let's just put this pavilion in. I'm going to need to put down more juggler stuff as well. So let's just put down this and this. Fine. More free money from sending stuff to Wast. Only 300 demons, not very much. But hey, it's all free money. That's how much money did we just get in gifts? 3,200 cash. That's not too bad. That's not really evolving anymore, but that's okay. So yeah, we're starting to grow this city, starting to produce a little bit extra surplus grain with the straw, which will help with getting other things working as well. So we'll just put a cattle ranch there. These 2 brickworks can just be deleted because they're not going to really serve any further purpose in the city. This space right here, this 2x2 space, could be more potters and more bricklayers and the like. And just really get it going. So yeah, it's just slow progress towards the goals. I might want to start stockpiling a little bit of straw now, just in case someone asks for it. We can just put it here, actually. Well, I don't know, I'll think about it. I'll think about all these things, and I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. We'll start to just boost our city quite quickly now. Okay, the city's progressing quite well now. We've got everyone up to spacious homestead. To evolve them any further is going to require that we import some barley from a trade partner. We can do that now. Over here we are also setting up papyrus. Get plenty of reeds. In fact, this is probably overkill. We probably don't need that many reeds in the city, but that's okay. So let's just open up this trader to Buhen and start importing barley. beer brewing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I since we don't really need the papyrus right now, let's turn off reeds because we don't need them, and then the papyrus industry will strangle itself. Grain production is more than enough now. We've got plenty of these, and we've got the floodplains here, and then this little bit of this farm's not really working as well as I would like. It doesn't seem to be wandering down this way, which is unfortunate. Let's just delete that and replace that with a couple of houses there, because what I can do is just do a bit of a zigzag like that and have you go like that, and then you'll always touch some houses. I mean, it's literally just for this, which is pointless, but it doesn't matter. Actually, we could just make that connecting road right through. We can just do that, and then not have you go up there because I want you to be roadblocked, like so. So this dude will get access to employment from this little bit of hut housing, which he'll probably do. It's not a big deal. Yeah, we've got enough reeds so I can stockpile. Let that stockpile. We can actually sell papyrus now as well. We could just sell whatever we've got. The traders come from the south. You have sold 1200 barley, which is good. You're going to start producing some beer, which is going to be good for our city. We need to evolve our housing because we seriously need workers. Got more than enough bricks, stockpiling. Could even open up the trade route to Men-Nefer and keep selling them. But I think it's more important that we work on monuments. So let's put down the small mud brick pyramid, which can go there. That only needs 4800 bricks and a little bit of limestone. We've got all of that here, so that's going to be good. I'm not going to time-lapse these. These are just like normal pyramids, except that the core is bricks rather than plain stone, for example. So there's no need to time-lapse that. So yeah, we're just going to keep on going, and we're going to come back in if anything of interest happens. The city's progressing quite nicely. It's now just a bit of a rush to evolve our stuff to the goals. So we'll just continue to evolve the city here, and Cargo Oasis is now asking for some grain. We have more than enough of that in stock. So what I've done is I've turned off the papyrus industry, and because we don't really need it right now, because, well, we don't. We're hemorrhaging too many workers because we need people to move in. So I have put down the city palace, which is also taking up a bunch of workers. And I've also started to evolve our house and get them up to spacious apartments, which will give us some tax money as well. Getting people moving in. How many people can we support? 188 more people. And city health is also below average. It's not because of me deleting buildings and all that and not evolving housing. It's just simply a case of these contaminated water events, which is also set a plague at random over here. I did have to control that a little bit, which didn't really help. This can actually be evolved. Let's just put a water supply in there. I also want workers to try and get Bast more happy because she is getting a little upset. We can just put down a couple of shrines in these little spaces and all that. But we are running out of places to try and keep the gods happy. They've only got one temple each, rather. So I might want to put down a few extra temples in places. Meanwhile, this is cleared. We can actually just delete that little roadblock. They do need bricklayers, but we don't really need too many of them. Let's just do 2 bricklayers and 2 stonemasons like that. And I'll just draw a road out here, which will be roadblocked. And they can go and work on that. I will need a carpenter's guild somewhere in the city as well. Since we're making too many bricks, I think I could probably solve that by cutting back on this one and replacing it with a carpenter's guild. And rather than you getting 3/4 of that, we can just set you to accept a little bit of wood that we will import from a trade partner. Like so. So the city's starting to take shape. This is going to be our large industry area. When we get more unemployment, we will turn on the papyrus industry and start making some beautiful papyrus for our citizens. And maybe we just need to evolve this block or start putting stuff in it. Start to work on our monument as well. So yeah, the city's starting to take shape. I'll come back in if anything of interest happens. We're just sort of slowly growing the city at this point. Okay, this city's really starting to grow in size, and there was an event earlier where I sent off stuff to men at Khufu here. because I sent 800 bricks, they were going to increase trade of the amount of bricks they're going to buy. They're going to buy 4,000 a year, so I'm really starting to ramp up brick production. And bricks are now worth more to export by 9 Debens. So the city is doing quite well. Up here, I just literally spammed as many pomegranate farms as I could get into this space. I've also put down a bunch of land farms to complement what we've got here. So I'm not going to use the entire floodplain, just mainly because it's going to get too far away for them to do that kind of stuff. Just as if I've noticed that this is not connected, so let's just connect that there. This farm right in there is not connected. We can sort that by bringing it down 1 tile. So I'll have 1, 2 there. And we'll just start spam some mitigation there. So there we go, we've got all the pomegranates we're ever going to need. That's going to allow us to set up our industry over here, our nobles block that we're going to need to meet, which is 6 stately manors. We're nowhere near any of these goals because this is all stagnating, some of them. But it's doing quite well. We've got plenty of limestone quarries as well. We've also set up the papyrus industry. We're going to start distributing a little bit of papyrus to our citizens. Well, schools rather. And yeah, we're just sort of growing the city now. Trying to, do we actually have pomegranates? I think pomegranates are going into the city even though it's not really necessary. So we're going to have an excellent flood, which is going to rejuvenate some of this terrible flooding quality, which is going to be good. So yeah, we're just going to keep on going, and I'll come back in once we started to lay out the area for our, and contaminated water doesn't help, does it? So I'll come back in once we've started to lay out our elite block, and when it's up to fancy residence, when we're ready to start importing luxury goods from Byblos. Okay, so I'm just planning out my noble block here, and it looks as if Menek Khufu wants some linen. I believe we have enough of that. We've got 3,100. We'll just send that off. How much linen do we have in stockpile? We actually don't have a lot because we don't have enough flax being produced. Now, I think that's just simply because the last several floods have been pretty rubbish. But now that we've got plenty of grain farms over here, we probably don't need so much here, which is okay. Now over here you can see I'm planning out this elite block for our stately manors. Just sort this. I'm being a bit more creative by having other statues. So 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. We only need 6 of these if I remember, yeah. 1, 2, 3. That's 1, 2, 3. So that's 1, 2. Let's just do that. So we'll have 4. We'll have 8 of them. Let's extend this by 1. Pardon me. And let's actually just put down some housing in here. We're also going to evolve all of this up into the next level because we can. We might as well just evolve this housing right here with pottery and beer, since they're getting it from teleporting people. Might as well. Now we are short on, what is this, pomegranates? It's only because the first harvest is just about to come in for that, so there's not going to be much of this in stockpile. We've got plenty of farms, so we've got 47, 43. I mean, these farms on the land are not really that fertile. They're sort of generic fertility, which is fine. Here what we're going to have is we're going to have the medium mud brick pyramid right there with a space right around it, which is going to look quite nice in my opinion. Let's actually just see if that goes around there. There we go. 1,000 meat. Take it. I'd have to move it down 1 just to make sure it's equal. There. So let's just do that. I'm going to put a box around this pyramid because it's going to look quite nice, I think. So a 1 tile gap there. Let's just see. So that's there. Perfect. So let's just straighten that up. And just let people come through that. There we go. And I'll just put a bit of a connection across like this instead. So that's where the medium pyramid is going to go when it's complete. This small one's nearly done. There's enough limestone being produced, which is okay. Plenty of grain over here, which is good. Actually, let's just make sure that we sort out this. So we'll put that there, and all the other amenities around it. So I'll do that off camera. We're not going to do that right now. I'll just slow it down so it doesn't burn. We're getting plenty of money. We get 11,000 in exports, and we're going to have a lot more in tax as we start to evolve our housing into the next levels. Linen will come through as well because we've actually sold out all of our linen. So we're actually going to stop exporting that for now. And we're just going to get it back again. So I'm just going to go and build up this elite block down here because it's not finished. Obviously I got interrupted by the game. And yeah, I'll come back in once we've got it up to fancy residence. We're ready to tip it over to the next level of manor housing. Okay, so the monument's almost complete, the first one anyway. And this little area is getting on up there. We've got all the dancer stuff up here. I am having to just do a little bit of spam, but unfortunately we had a bit of a plague because of poor health. But that's because of constant contaminated water dragging it down, which is not very helpful. We've got plenty of pomegranates in the system, but we've also got all of these houses nicely up to spacious residence. We can push them further, which I will be doing. There's the brick pyramid complete, that's perfect. Let's just put down... I need a place to put down some buildings, I think. We've got more than enough clay pits. I don't think we really need too much more. So let's just put down 2 bandstands and a bunch of conservatories along here. Let's just do that. Now this is also going to mess up stuff over here. So let's just make sure nothing burns down with a firehouse right there. It should be good. Making plenty of bricks. We've got plenty of beer, pardon me. Got plenty of linen over here. Might as well just go ahead and distribute it. And we have to now provide luxury goods at some point. We're short by loads of workers, that's just because of setting up everything. But as we start to build the other pyramid over here, we will be able to cut back on some of that. Let's just have a look. 45. We still need more culture, which is not very helpful. Desirability is a problem. We can solve that with plaza all around the outside. That just evolves everything. Another plague? Really? Now, there was a plague here earlier. I didn't see this, but apparently this plagued citizen is there, and he is going right through something which I don't want. So let's see. Can I hide? Let's just destroy that there. I know this is going to block off the Kingdom Road for a little bit, but I'm not having a plagued citizen wandering around in my city. Let's just slow this down. Come on, there. And did he get through? He must have just disappeared then. Okay, fine. We'll just put that back to the way it was. There's a bit of a plague going on here. I'm not too sure what I can do to solve it, but it will clear up in time, which is fine. We'll also just put down more plaza everywhere as best as we can. Oh, there he is. At least these houses are nowhere near him, so that's going to be not too bad. So these just need to get access to linen, which they are getting. We now need to import ivory. I'm not going to do that right now, just because we need to solve our labour shortage first. So yeah, we're just going to keep on going, and I'll come back in once we've got some nice stately manors in our city, because that's the only thing holding these things from evolving to the next level. Of course, I'm going to need to put down a library and a senate house as well. So we're just about to win this mission. Finally, it's taken a little while. Had a bit of problem with unemployment, well, employment issues, because everything was just starting to collapse in of itself because of aging. So I just put out this little common residence block over here. Looks quite nice right next to the Sphinx there. And it just keeps everything nice and tidy, and it's helping with the unemployment. We're actually getting some unemployment now, finally. Culture's there. It was going up a little bit crazily because we're now at 9,000. We're 1,500 over the required population mark. But we just needed more population to keep this going. So we'll just speed this up. We will win. We've also had a bunch of really shite floods. Just constant bad floods on this one. Just really bad, so unfortunate. Men and Khufu sort of asked me for random things at times, so I just sent them off without bothering to come back in for it. What are you looking to get? You're set to fill, not get, which is silly. Which means you'll never ever get those items. And this block in here is fed on just pomegranates. I'm not going any higher than this, it's fine. So here we go, monument's almost complete. Very slow. I could have put more down, but I can't be bothered. So let's see. And the monument's complete, finally. We can just get rid of all of these things here. We can get rid of that. We can get rid of all of this, because we don't need it. And there's a couple of stonemasons in there that we can get rid of. I don't think there's anything else. We're just at the population, which is perfect. Let's put some gardens in there. It looks quite nice, doesn't it? So here is our starting of our city, supporting our farms, our linen. Linen literally got us going, but now we just export so little. I mean, taxes are like 39,000 on this is crazy. I mean, most of that is literally just this. I mean, these are paying, what, 400 odd demons in tax. They're quite high. And of course, these taxes could evolve further if I cared to put enough stuff in, but we're not going to. So what's our burial provisions like? Plenty of grain, plenty of everything. We're ready to progress. Let's just have a look at our goals. 60 culture, maxed out prosperity, maxed out kingdom rating. We got over the population and we had 2 more stately miners than we needed, just because I like always doing things in either groups of 4 or groups of 8. I tend to prefer doing them in groups of 8 because they're worth more that way. Monument there. Monument there. This city's all nicely jam-packed, and over here we of course had our beer, and actually we're very low on beer. We could just do with some more brewers, but that's okay. And a papyrus industry as well. So yeah, let's just make one final save and dispatch off these items. 1,000 grain, 2,500 pottery, 1,200 beer, just enough. 1,200 luxury goods, we had to import at great expense from Byblos, the only source, and 1,500 papyrus. And it'll tick over. We got the Sphinx done as well, just up here, just nicely against all of this stuff here. It's just such a nice eclectic grouping of everything, really, to be honest with you. Just speed this up. And there we go. There's Itjtawy. We have proved ourselves capable to the people. I actually just forgot to mention there that there is actually a trade route to Cargo Oasis, but it just sells barley and wood, which you could already get long before this. So a pretty worthless trade route. Never showed that one, but never mind. We've proven ourselves worthy to our people. Let us proceed.
Through your unselfish dedication to providing for your people, Egypt now accepts you as the rightful pharaoh and looks to your dynasty to produce equally benevolent and resourceful heirs.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Vizier. You're gonna go and try and get me killed on the next mission anyway. So that was Itjtawy, culture 60, maxed out prosperity kingdom rating. A lot of money. A lot of it was tax. We really extorted the city. And we actually had a lot more population than we needed. We just needed that extra boost to get over the hurdles towards the end there. On hard mode, we got our monuments done as well. Look at that score. Anyway, that was Itjtawy. If you're interested in one of the next missions, which is the choice, you can click on the left-hand card to head to Icon or Mergisa. Or if you want the peaceful one, you can go to Sajuuk or Mursa on the right-hand card there. But for me, Sajuuk, that's going to be that. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.